In today's set review, we are going to be taking a look at a surprising addition to the Starship collection. Set number 75440 Midi Scale AT-AT is the first walker in set collection, which is definitely interesting, but more on that later. The set released on January 1st of 2026 with 525 pieces, no minifigures, and retails for roughly $65 and euros. I'm also going to be comparing this one to the Gingerbread AT-AT from last year later in this video, but now let's start with the basics first. As usual with 18 plus sets, we get little to no design on the box. On the front there's only a render of the model with some glow behind it. On the side we have a front picture of the AT-AT similar to the UCS box design. And on the back you're gonna find a different angle of the walker as well as the measurements and a nice image from the Empire Strikes Back. When opening the set you're gonna find a total of 4 numbered bags and your typical LEGO instruction manual. As usual you're getting some instruction pages at the start with a bunch of facts of the AT-AT alongside some amazing pictures from episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. Moving over to the building process, we're first gonna build the section of the AT-AT's main body to which we attach some Technic pieces and also the neck joint. The first little Easter egg has already been put into this model and it's a small thermal detonator, of course alluding to the famous scene where Luke Skywalker blows up an AT-AT just by himself. Continuing already with the next Easter egg, we're gonna build this main section where later on the side panels will be attached, and the top half of this little construction is loaded with a bunch of snowtroopers. In the next step we already completely finished off the roof and we add a panel at the back and another panel at the front of the model and then put the last panel straight on top. There's another small Easter egg, and similar to the UCS AT-AT, the engines are built in the Octane color scheme, which is LEGO's own gas station chain in their LEGO City sets. Afterwards we attach 3 panels together to create the whole first side panel, and this will simply be attached to the side via some clip connections. We do just the same on the other side and now the main body is pretty much done and does look pretty good so far. Now adding the last details to the main body in the next step, and now we move on to the head where we're gonna find the next Easter egg, which is General Veers and an AT-AT driver in the cockpit of the AT-AT. We add 2 side panels and a roof to this main structure and then attach the whole head to the neck, and now we're only missing the legs. We already built 3 of them in the next step and we very easily connect them via some pins into the AT-AT. After adding the whole thing to the base, we're gonna attach the last leg, which is in a bended position, to the front left, and now the finishing touches are of course the small snowspeeder, which is sitting on a transclear rod, and the towing cable which we wrap around the legs and simply attach it to one of them. And now there is your Midi Scale AT-AT. The model overall is really well done in my opinion, and I really like most of the shaping and the angles that LEGO was able to achieve here. It definitely looks like an AT-AT, but I still have some small complaints about the feet, the head and the base, which I will explain further in a second. The main presence this walker has is still nice and menacing though, especially with the scale comparison to the snowspeeder, but be aware that the model itself is pretty dang small and is nowhere near a tall set. Starting off with a positive note though, I really like that LEGO printed all 8 of the tiles going over the joints of the legs, as well as the plaque on the front, which both look much better because they're actual prints. Now for the play features, you can simply move the head side to side however you like, and this really surprised me because the Gingerbread AT-AT from last year was simply locked into place, which was a bit disappointing. While we're at the head, you can open the side panels to see the Easter eggs we've built earlier, and you can also move all 4 cannons up and down / side to side, which is nice. Now while these features are pretty cool, the head itself looks a little weird, the front seems like an open mouth, and there are some pretty noticeable gaps which I don't really like. It is a pretty small model and there are gonna be some downsides in the scale, but the head doesn't look that good overall. While I'm overall pleased with the way the legs look, I feel like the feet are a little oversized. This is most likely due to the scale and stability of the model, and it's not a huge bummer, but it doesn't seem so accurate to me. It's not bad enough to ruin the set, but it is something worth to point out. The back of the model has some nice details and the overall top half looks pretty well done in my opinion. I can't really complain about much here. I really love the inclusion of the snowspeeder and it is really well done, especially for such a small scale. I really like how the towing cable wraps around from the back of the speeder to the AT-AT. It looks really dope, and when this set first came up as a rumor, I was really hoping that LEGO would include this, and I'm really happy with the way it turned out. Such an iconic scene from the Battle of Hoth, and it perfectly fits into this set. However, my biggest complaint with the set is not one of the vehicles, it's the base. The snowspeeder already makes it a small diorama, so I really have no clue why LEGO made the base black instead of white, or why they didn't at least add some snow on top like they did on other sets like the Probe Droid. Just imagine how dope it would have been if they made the base white, or at least made it look like some snow has fallen on top of it. Since it's a walker in the Starship collection, it already stands out, so I don't get why the base has to be entirely black like the stands. I'm just not a huge fan of that. On a side note, I also don't get why they had to rebrand the Midi Scale line to the Starship collection if they were gonna do walkers anyway. I mean, it does sound more premium, but it makes no sense. With this model being a walker though, I hope we can see more of these in the line. I think an ATT on Geonosis would be dope to get as well, and I think there are a lot of more models which would be nice to see in this line. But besides all that, I really don't have much to complain. I guess you could say that the main body is a little slim, and I do understand where you might be coming from, but for me there are some bigger issues with the model. Speaking of bigger things, the Gingerbread AT-AT from last year is bigger as well, and while the new AT-AT has a base and some finer building techniques, it's shocking how much bigger the Gingerbread one is. It's even crazier when you think about the fact that the Christmas set included a phenomenal Darth Vader minifig, had about 170 pieces more, and was $5 cheaper. This is a typical example of LEGO charging more simply because they feel like it will sell anyway and because they can. Yeah, there are some nice prints and a rope included in the Midi Scale set, but the price and value difference is still crazy to me. The set from last year is without a doubt the better choice when it comes to value in my opinion, and it's just sad that LEGO continues to overprice these Midi Scale sets. But overall, I do like this set, but similar to the Venator, which I've already reviewed as well, the set has some issues, is overpriced and just can't hold up with the other models value-wise. I love the AT-AT as a vehicle, it may be even my favorite walker, and The Empire Strikes Back is my favorite Star Wars movie of all time, but I'm still disappointed by a couple of things in the set. But will it still be a nice model for anyone who wants a smaller AT-AT on their display or as a desk model? Absolutely yes. It still looks great, the inclusion of the Snowspeeder is nice, and the AT-AT still has the menacing presence, even though it is a small model. I'm glad I got the set with 20% off though, cause full price is not worth it in my opinion at all. So what do you think of the Midi Scale AT-AT? Is it a model that you want to pick up, or do you prefer the Gingerbread one from last year? Now I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would highly appreciate like to support the channel. If you're new, please consider subscribing. If you want to check out some of my other videos or reviews, you can see me on screen right now.